What's up, guys? Welcome back to the TheSlamDuncan YouTube channel. This is going to be my video recapping the Bulls' big win over the Detroit Pistons, which is overall, I think it was a game that showed a bunch of growth for the Bulls, so it was such a good win to see after they just beat the Indiana Pacers on Monday. So this is going to be just kind of recapping the game, my thoughts on some of the decisions by Billy Donovan, and also breaking down some film. As you can see, I have a bunch of little clips pulled up here to kind of break down for you guys. But before we get into that, though, I got a couple things. Obviously, hit that like button if you enjoy this video. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. But this is going to be like a double upload for me. So this is my first video. This should be released in the morning for you guys. And then later on in the afternoon, be ready for my All-Star video. So this could be just my video just naming my All-Stars for the 2021 season, as the All-Star starters are going to be named tonight on TNT. And then on the 23rd, they're going to name the reserves. So you're just going to see who I think should be in the All-Star game in that video later this afternoon. So make sure you check out that video as well and hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button on both of these videos. So let's get into this game. Bulls came out in this game very flat, but I have to say, I don't think the Bulls are really playing that bad. I could tell on Twitter who were the casuals and really who were the people really paying attention to the game, because if you were a casual, you were immediately tweeting like, wow, the Bulls did not bring the effort tonight, the offense sucks, and it shows that these guys don't really care. But in reality, I thought that this Bulls team was actually playing pretty okay, but it was just like the offense was doing great. The offense was moving, the ball was moving, guys were moving around. There was no stagnant offense I saw in the first half, but there was just a rim on the lid for the Bulls. They got wide open shot after wide open shot after wide open shot, and they just couldn't hit their shots. And I was just like, man, this sucks, because it's like you're doing everything right. The offense is doing everything right. No one's, sticking with the ball. No one's dribbling too much. Guys are going to where they're supposed to be. I see so much ball movement and player movement, but it doesn't end up working out because no one can hit their wide open three-point shot, or no one can hit the wide open 18-footer. And I was kind of amazed by Bulls fans, because a lot of Bulls fans were like, wow, this team just sucks so bad. They don't care. They're not playing hard. I'm like, they're playing hard, but it's just not going well for them. Defensively, they definitely could have been better. I called out their three-point defense. I thought overall, though, throughout the entire game, really, the defense, like the individual defense, got a little bit better. The pick-and-roll defense, I thought, was actually pretty good, but it was the three-point defense that killed us mostly in the first half, though. But as you can see, they adjusted so much better in the second half, as Detroit only ended up going 8 for 28 from the three-point line. So the Bulls did such a good job of adjusting. Now, probably one of the biggest things, and it was one of the biggest questions asked to Billy Donovan at his press conference, was how about that lineup change at coming out of the halftime? And Billy Donovan decided to really sub out his young guys from the starting lineup, and he put in a bunch of veterans to start the second half. So he took out Kobe White for Satoransky, Wendell Carter Jr. for Thaddeus Young, and then put in Denzel Valentine for Patrick Williams. And then LaVine and Temple were the only two starters that remained in the starting lineup. And I was really, really happy with that situation. I thought it was interesting initially because I'm like, Denzel is not having a good game. And at that time, I didn't think Thaddeus Young or Temple was really having that good of a game either. I thought both of them were kind of struggling, especially Denzel, though. I thought Denzel was just, oh my God. I was not happy with Denzel. And if you want to look at the box score just to kind of see, it's not just the shooting that was bad for him. It was just his decision-making. I did not like the way that Denzel Valentine played at all. As you see, 1 for 11. But, yeah, I did not like how Denzel Valentine played at all this game. And I was kind of shocked that he was put into that starting lineup. And, you took out these other guys. But I kind of recognized the reason why he did such a thing is because Kobe White was atrocious at that point. Could not hit a shot. Patrick Williams could not defend anybody for some odd reason. He was not bringing it. And, I was kind of shocked with the Wendell substitution. But I think it made sense because I thought Wendell Carter Jr. played really well in the first half, but I think what Donovan was thinking is like, okay, we need to get going early, so let's put Thaddeus Young in early, but then I'm going to take him out early as well. So when LaVine does come out, I can put Thaddeus Young back in. Therefore, we have some stability in the second unit. Because Thaddeus Young has been playing a lot with the main unit recently and not really much the second unit. That kind of flipped in the second half, and it brought some stability for this when the other young guys checked in as part of the second unit for the second half. So Great job at Billy Donovan. It did really send a message to the young guys, especially Patrick Williams and Kobe White. Like, hey, look, you may be putting in the work, but if you don't bring it on game night, we got guys back here that have been in the league for much longer than you, and we're going to play them over you if you don't bring it. And great message by Billy Donovan. And then, of course, we have to talk about Zach LaVine in that third quarter. I believe he put up 15 points, and he came out in that third quarter. Was like, look, I don't care what's happening anymore. Give me the ball. I am going to attack that rim, and I'm going to score. And he did just that. He sparked that run. And not only did he spark this run, he also guarded Jeremy Grant in the third quarter, and he really stopped Jeremy Grant. I saw a lot of people, I'm not going to bring up my Twitter, but some people were saying, like, well, there was a quote by Billy Donovan, I think, and Billy said that Zach LaVine's like, let me take Jeremy Grant. Let me guard Jeremy Grant. And a lot of people in the replies were like, well, that's such a stupid idea. I mean, look, Jeremy Grant had 43 points tonight. And yeah, Jeremy Grant had 43 points tonight. But let me tell you something. Jeremy Grant was on absolute fire in the first half. And who was guarding him in the first half? Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams didn't do a thing to stop him in the first half. And Zach LaVine not only sparked this Bulls offense, he also sparked the Bulls defense in the third quarter to spark that run to cut the lead to 3. And then obviously in the fourth quarter, they finished it off. He did a great job guarding Jeremy Grant in that third quarter. And, it was kind of just getting to the point, though, with Jeremy Grant that it's like you can't stop him. Same thing with LaVine. No matter who you throw at him, you can't really stop him, right? So I think Zach did so much for this Bulls team, not just offensively, but also on the other end. And to a certain, Bulls reporter, I think you all know who we're talking about. Zach is doing much better defensively this season. He's not an all-NBA defender. He's not a good defender, but he's putting in the effort. And he takes the challenge when necessary, and he did that just tonight. But let's get into some of the clips here. As you see, I have a lot here, but I'm going to go through it really quickly. First 2 clips are some bad defense I wanted to show you. And then the rest of the clips, I'm just showing you LaVine's growth. As I do think LaVine is about to be named an All-Star on the 23rd. I want to just show you his growth and how well he's playing this season. So first off, like I said earlier, Patrick Williams could not stop Jeremy Grant, and we all think Patrick Williams is supposed to be a great defender, but he didn't. Patrick Williams' early game, he didn't bring it. He was like, nope, I'm not going to play that well, and that was really annoying. So watch. If you just want to see terrible defense, well, just watch this possession right here. And, a lot of people are going to be yelling at Wendell. Don't be yelling at Wendell for the situation, right? We talk about, the defense, the first line of the defense all the time for the Bulls. And we keep saying, like, the help defense isn't there. But if the initial line of defense isn't going to be good, then the help defense doesn't matter, right? So this right here is just terrible initial line of defense, terrible perimeter defense. Jeremy Grant goes right by Patrick Williams. Easy layup, right? That can't happen. And Wendell did come over, but it was too late, okay? This is the type of stuff that we keep seeing from the young guys who are in the starting lineup, and this is what the message that Billy Donovan was trying to send is like, you can't do this type of stuff anymore. If you're guarding Jeremy Grant, who has turned into at least a 25-point per game scorer every single night, right? You can't let this happen. You can't bring that type of effort, right? So here's another play, and this is when the vets were even in, but I'm mostly just trying to show you how easy it was for the Pistons to get into the paint. I saw some tweets also saying that Wendell Carter Jr. didn't play too well because the Pistons had so many points in the paint. Well, that's not his fault, because I just showed you one play with this play that it was Patrick Williams' terrible perimeter defense that allowed the inside scoring, right? And I'm going to show you this play right here, which it doesn't even deal with Wendell number 1, but number 2, it's also on the guard in this play. As much as Luke Cornett is a bad player, this is on Satoransky. This is just terrible defense, right? Right here, simple pick and roll. Now, first off, automatically, I understand that Isaiah Stewart is a really big body and he's really strong, but you cannot get picked that hard on that type of screen right there. You need to be aware, number 1. So it is kind of tickling on Cornette for not really calling that out, it looks like. But number 2, you probably, if you do know that this type of screen is coming, you got to fight over that screen, right? You standing like this or getting picked that hard and now you're behind the screener like this does absolutely nothing good, because now it's a 2-on-1 situation, right? And in my opinion, I think Denzel needs to come over and cheat a little bit, because let's say the ball's thrown to Stewart here, then you got Satoransky that can come over and take Denzel's player, right? But instead, though, it's just too easy right here for Dennis Smith Jr. And again, Cornette's not a great defender. And paint points right here, easy fadeaway jump shot. The biggest issue right here is that the Pistons got into the paint so easily. That's what I'm trying to say here. And that's not on Wendell, right? And to be honest, it's mostly not on Kornet. He should have called out the screen, but it's just that type of stuff right there is what's killing the Bulls. Is, you let these guys get into the paint so easily, and let's say if like Young or Archdiakono decide to collapse even more, then they got the shooters wide open. Just letting the other team get into the paint so easily is the problem. You can't have that happen, right? So that type of stuff was bad, but they fixed that a lot in the second half, and I was really, really pleased to see that. Now, let's go over LaVine's game here. A lot of people were like, well, Zach was scoring early on. And I'm like, yeah, he was. And so people were kind of pissed him in the second quarter when the Pistons really made that run, as you can probably see here in the box score, that the Pistons really went on a big second quarter and the Bulls can score a bucket, right? But I wanted to show what the difference in Zach's mindset as he had to shift it throughout the entire game, because early on Zach had 9 first quarter points, but a lot of it wasn't like him deciding I'm going to be the scoring guy. Like, give me the ball and score. It was more of him running in the flow of the offense, and he was still being more of a distributor early on. And in the second quarter, he didn't score until like 2 minutes left or like a minute left, and he was in such a facilitator role because the defense changed on him so drastically, but he was also just trying to get the other guys involved, and he was doing a good job of that, but Valentine, all the other shooters, they did not hit their shots. So he decided to switch his mindset in the second half, and I'm going to show you what he did. But let's just watch this play here. Like, this isn't, LaVine saying, give me the ball, I'll drive it to the basket, right? This is just in the flow of the offense. This is pretty good player and ball movement right here. It is just lack of defense from the Pistons. Zach does a little curl, and it's an easy dunk wide open in the paint, right? So that was like the offense for LaVine early on. It wasn't like he was really trying to score him by himself. He was in the flow of the offense. But once the team got down and then he came out in the second half, he had a totally different mindset. And I tweeted before the second half saying that LaVine's going to have to take over this game, and he's going to have to ISO more, because at this point, the shooters like Valentine, right, they're not hitting their wide open threes. What LaVine has to do is say, forget the pass right now, forget the pick and roll, because if there was ever a pick and roll, he was being doubled, which was he was forced to then pass it, right? He needs to just straight up isolate, don't let the double come to him, and then score the ball, because there is nobody on this Pistons team that can stay in front of him one-on-one. But if the help does come then, and you can really collapse the defense, then if you could get guys wide open shots in the paint, then you go ahead and pass the ball. But don't throw it out to a three-point shooter, because those guys aren't hitting their shots right now. So watch this play. I talked about isolation. Don't run the pick and roll, right? So as you can see right here, this was almost a pick and roll, right? Thaddeus Young decides to slip it, and LaVine's like, okay, forget about that right now. Let me straight up isolate. So what this does now is this doesn't put Plumlee in action, right? Thaddeus Young is occupying Plumlee over here. So now it's just Jeremy Grant on Zach LaVine, and Grant can't guard LaVine, right? So right here, isolate, one-on-one, everyone get out of my way, easy, right? No double game, so LaVine's not forced to pass. Therefore, he can go right to the rim, drive by his one defender that he has to worry about, and get the layup. All right, so now this play for the Bulls, this is like a staple right now in the Bulls playbook. And this is, another way for LaVine to not have to worry about being double teamed, and he can move off ball and then still find a way to just, get an easy matchup or easy one-on-one opportunity, or in this case, it's a back cut, right? This has become a staple, and this has been around for a long time, but, this is Sato bringing up the ball, and LaVine's all the way in the corner over here. This is going to be a back cut by LaVine, and this is just a great pass from Satoransky, and this is just LaVine, again, attacking that rim and, not having a double team that he has to worry about, and have to force out a pass to somebody who probably doesn't know what to do with the ball. So again, good stuff. Good play by the Bulls here, and it's become an absolute staple. And it's really a good thing to do, because a lot of teams see that the Bulls' offense is very handoff based, right? And this type of play is the opposite, and they're expecting a handoff, and it's a backdoor cut for LaVine. Now, this is where I really want to get into, because this, I think, shows the most growth from LaVine this season. And this is one of the issues for LaVine in previous years, was like, if he gets double, like, he doesn't know exactly what to do or how to, work with that double team to help his teammates, right? And, the Pistons, they were doubling him ever since that first quarter, because they were saying, let me try to have the others make make shots or have the others make decisions with the basketball. Don't let LaVine beat us, right? Don't let LaVine be the one making decisions or the ones making shots. Let the other guys try to do it. And, in the second quarter, it really, really worked, right? So, at this point, though, as you see, we're in the fourth quarter. This is when LaVine had it going. And this really, really opened up the offense because LaVine is on fire. And now they're even more worried about LaVine. But just watch as this play develops, right? So right here, pick and roll, right? Immediate double team. And look at how far out they are. Like LaVine's at the logo and they're double teaming him, right? This is really good by LaVine because watch as this play happens. Because let's say LaVine held onto this ball just a little bit longer, right? If he holds onto this ball just a little bit longer, now he's trapped up here. And it's really hard to, throw the pass out from out here when you got two guys in your face. But he throws it right on time early enough so the double team can't really get up into him too much, so it cuts off his vision. And it's a good pass to Thaddeus Young, and this has been a staple all year. And this is where I was really talking about with LaVine, and if he's double teamed, like if you're going to draw that double team, go ahead and pass it if you know it's going to be an easier bucket like inside. I don't want this to be a three-point shot because, again, the Bulls' three-point shooters were just not hitting their shots today, right? But this right here, now it's a 3-on-4 situation, and good back cut by Satoransky right here. Thaddeus Young does a great job getting the ball to him, and it's an easy layup in the paint. That's how you take advantage of a double team, right? If the team is going to double you, then try to get an easy layup in the paint instead of you don't always have to shoot the three ball, right? Now here's another my bad, I went full screen. Here's another instance of a double team coming in. This is not even with the pick and roll. And look at how far LaVine is out here, right? The Pistons are throwing that double team. There's no pick and roll in this situation, but LaVine does a great job of seeing it here. Okay, here comes a double. Now Thaddeus Young needs to be the release valve for LaVine, and he does just that. So he comes up here, up into the elbow area. So now he's at the free throw line. But again, instead of Patrick Williams standing out here, which you probably think, oh, that's still a pretty good shot, right? He then decides, no, I'm going to go baseline here and go get a shot in the paint. Thaddeus Young, great pass, and strong finish by Patrick Williams, and one. Again, instead of shooting that three-point shot, which is Patrick Williams, he still needs to work on his three-point shot, and I think he'll get better over time. But I think he's only shooting 30% from three-point range right now, or maybe it's 30% in the corner. But I would rather have him take this type of shot instead of taking a wide-open corner shot because I have more faith in him making this type of shot than hitting that three-point shot. But last but not least here, I want to show you what happens if, let's say, the Pistons fail to double-team LaVine, right? So right here, there was a little stagger screen by Wendell Carter Jr. to get LaVine open here for Kobe White. 7 seconds left to go here, so it's kind of, you have to go quick, right? But watch LaVine here. Instead of using the screen, he's going to go away from the screen. And what does this do right here? Pistons aren't in position to double. There is no way you can double this unless you're going to give up a three-point shot over here or a wide-open dunk for Wendell or a wide-open Kobe White three-point shot. But they're also way too far. It's going to be so hard for them to recover. And because they weren't able to double him, guess what happens? Drive, but, I'm going to step back on you, and we're going to hit that shot in your face, right? That's what happens if you don't double LaVine, and that's what makes him such a great threat on offense. And that's why I think, as we've seen so far, he's going to be an all-star this season, and I guarantee you right now, this Bulls' future is going to he's going to be a part of this Bulls' future, man. I just don't know how Karnisovas can be like, hey, let's go trade this man who is putting up 28 points per game on 50, 40, 86 splits, and see, we're going to trade this man and hopefully get a good enough value so then we can really reset and then build a winning culture here, right? Now, this man is going to be a part of this Bulls' future, and I will have a video out on the whole LaVine contract situation and breaking that down and show how this team can, keep LaVine, but also still either be in a rebuilding stage or an even different type of stage where you go out and you start being buyers, right? But this man right here is special, and I'm just showing you how much he's grown from the previous season to then this season, right? This right here, these last three clips right here that I just showed you, that is a humongous growth spurt from LaVine. And this is the type of stuff that we need to continue to see as the season goes on and also in the future. But that's all I have for you guys. Bulls get 105-102 win over the Pistons. Definitely a great fighting effort, but as the Bulls continue with their games, they need to work on better starts, man. I even think that at the start of this game, like I said earlier, it wasn't that bad. They were just missing shots, but the defense needs to get better. And the defense that I saw in the second half, or most of the second half, I need to see that defense at the start of the game, right? You can't just be like, we're going to start playing defense, in the start of the second half. That can't happen. Let me see that defense at the start of the game, because as we saw, Billy Donovan is not like, hey, yeah, we're going to keep rolling with our young guys. No, he's going to be willing to be like, no, if you're not playing well, you're coming out of the game. We're going to play other guys over you. And that's what I want to see from Billy Donovan. Like, be assertive and say, you young guys, just because you're young and you're supposed to be a big part of this team in the future, which I don't even know if that's even true at this point, right? You're not guaranteed minutes. And these guys need to understand that, and they need to play better at the start of the game and also at the end of the game as well. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. Also, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Be on the lookout for my All-Star video later this afternoon. And I'll see you guys in that video. Hope you guys enjoy it. Peace.